This is Mark Bell from supertraining.tv. Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. When the gun went off, I ran like hell. That's what Ben Johnson said in an interview that my brother did with him for Bigger, Stronger, Faster. And the reason why I bring that quote up is to answer this next question. Got a question from Wisdom Eternal, who is a quad dipper, by the way. This is like his fourth time writing a question. He's starting to hog the PP, hog the Power Project, and start to invade the Power Project with questions. But when the gun went off, I ran like hell. Think about what that means. Ben Johnson, when he ran, he's not thinking about activating his hamstrings. He's not thinking about activating his glutes or activating this or activating that or the steps he's going to take and all this other shit. That motherfucker was from the hood. He hears a gun go off, he's out of there. He's booking it down. That's me running, by the way. I know that looked pretty fast. But to answer this question is about plopping onto the box. And the reason why I brought up that quote is because sometimes you just need to think about squatting the weight. Just think about squatting that weight. Don't think so much about how far back your hips need to be, what your shin angle should be, what this should be, what that should be. Try to focus in on just squatting the weight and squatting it to the best of your ability with the best possible form that you can have. If you're up at 95% and you're talking about plopping onto the box, I just got a text message from Jesse Burdick. It says, "How's your face?" So maybe you guys can answer it. How's it looking? It's not looking so good, I know. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. But hey, this shit's free. If you guys were all chipping in, 15 cents per person, per view, then maybe I could do something about this grizzled face of mine. But anyway, back to the question and back to the answer, actually. My point is sometimes you just got to think about squatting that weight. I know that a lot of you guys out there know how to squat, but I also know that a lot of you guys are getting confused, just like you get confused about diet, because you hear on this ad and you hear on that ad and you hear on this news that carbs are bad, and then you hear that high-fat diets are bad. Then you hear that this is bad, that's bad, kidneys bad for your, or protein's bad for your kidneys. And you start hearing all this shit, and it starts to kind of sit in here, and it starts to paralyze you. You get paralyzed with a bunch of stupid information. Don't let that happen to your training. Don't ever let that happen to your training. Go in there and squat the way that you know how. There's enough videos out there on YouTube. There's a Super Training DVD. There's an Ed Cohn DVD. There's a West Side Barbell DVD that explains all this shit, and that shows you over and over again. There's a bunch of fags on YouTube that have ripped off some of this material and have even posted it. You can look all that stuff up. But you can find out how to squat. You can look it up. You can utilize YouTube as a resource and watch all these other people squat. But the worst thing you can do is to overthink it. So what are some exercises that you can do to prevent yourself from plopping onto the box? Rule number 1, stop fucking plopping on the box. Rule number 2, you're probably overextended. Overextended is the distance between your belly button and your sternum. We talk about it all the time. I was taught up on this subject from Mastermind Kelly Starrett. He's the one who pointed it out to me that many lifters are in this overextended position, overarched position. And basically the hips are going back too far. The belt line is going back too far. It's hard to kind of get those hips back underneath you to finish out the squat and to get back underneath those weights. So someone will rotate their hips this way, and as they get to the box, it'll be almost too much, and they'll do that, and they'll plop onto the box because their hamstrings are not strong enough. Their hamstrings may be too tight, as well as long as and possibly the hip flexors as well. So what are some exercises you can do to fix this? Rule number 1 is just you try to squat the right way first. So raise your box height up and see if the problem still exists. If you've gotten rid of that problem with a higher box, try starting to scoot your way down to a lower box. Just go about an inch at a time, and really just concentrate on that form. Force the knees out, try to stay upright, try not to kick the hips back too far. Okay? A third thing that you can do is you can utilize special exercise to bring up those hamstrings. Fourth thing that you can do is you can utilize mobility work to, here's Quinn Bell. You could utilize mobility work from mobilitywod.com to start to bring up the flexibility and mobility of those hamstrings. Some exercises that would help you with your build up strength in your hamstrings are, you see yourself? You see yourself? Some exercises that would help you would be stiff leg deadlifts, sumo stiff leg deadlifts, good mornings against a band where you put a band around the back of your neck and do them for high reps, and Dimmel deadlifts. And Quinn, I think that's it, right? And that's it from supertraining.tv. Later.